Hello, people of New World. It's me, Lamani, and we had a big day today. We had February patch day. Now, I want to come at you and tell you a couple things I'm feeling about the patch, where I'm at with it, what I'm thinking, how the future looks. And I am going to answer the question for you of whether or not you should be coming back to try the patch and see how the gameplay is. Now, before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you for all your support on this somewhat barren wasteland if you're on Eden, or if you're just in general playing the game. I'm still going to keep pumping out New World content, unlike most content creators who have jumped ship, but I'm here for the long run. New World is a fantastic game. I'm still here. But regardless, if you want to keep supporting me, join us on Discord, follow us on Twitch. We stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, about 10:30 a.m. Central Time. Go for about 5 hours. TikTok, Twitter, Patreon if you want early content, extra line of communication. Otherwise, drop a comment, drop a DM to me. But as always, keep doing that weird YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, tell everybody you know. I'd appreciate it. Now, the February patch. I want to start off with a disclaimer, okay? I love the patch. I absolutely love it. I think the gameplay is amazing. I think it's fluid. I think it feels great. But I wanted to start off with this disclaimer of approach the patch with cautious optimism, okay? Take everything I'm going to say with a grain of salt. Even I'm going to take these things with a grain of salt. The patch itself looks fantastic, but there are, of course, some stutters, some things, and it's just not where it needs to be yet. But if anything, I think this patch shows that there is a huge potential for the future just from seeing what it has to offer. I kind of now understand why the patch took so long to come out, because of how much they actually worked on. Even though it doesn't really seem like it in the patch notes, there's a lot that they did. And I think the game is in an amazing spot. But regardless, take this with cautious optimism. Be excited and be happy, but this is not the final build, and this is not where the work stops. It needs to keep going up from here. So let's start with point one of why should you come back? One, fluidity. Okay, what do I mean by this? The combat, the PvP, the gameplay, the movement, everything feels really nice and fluid and buttery smooth. It's really weird. You know, you go from this clunky, weird mess to, you know what, it actually feels like my abilities are hitting and I can weapon swap and I can move. You jump off a cliff and you roll and continue to move. You don't lose and you don't have these weird stutters. I think the biggest way to put it is like, you just don't have stutters. And they've adjusted things like, you know, clipping when you're in melee combat. You can actually hit things. You're not bouncing around. Sure, it's a little rougher on the edges, but they're working on it and it's a lot better. You know, I can weapon swap, right? You have to know when to actually hit the button, getting used to it, but you can actually get a weapon swap off. Combat, actually hitting things in melee, you actually hit them. Even as far as like a ranged player, you hit when you think it should have to hit. I think Tal and our company hit it the best is it feels like your inputs are actually controlling the game, not the game controlling itself, in a sense. I think a lot of us had gotten used to New World just kind of being, you know, it's New World, it's going to act that way. Right now, when I hit an input, it is doing what I want it to do. Right? And I think that is a fantastic thing. And it's really hard to emphasize how good this is in a video in my own perspective. And I think the best way to understand how the combat has improved and how the movement has improved and just general gameplay is to actually go out there and give it a test. I know a lot of you, I don't know what games you've swapped to, whether it's Lost Ark, Hello Kitty, Island Adventure, you know, some of you might be playing Dying Light, Elden Ring, whatever it is. But give it a shot. Go try it and feel it for yourself, because it is a night and day difference of combat. I think just about every single person I've talked to today is, wow, this actually feels good. It's actually fun to fight. It's actually fun to play the game. And I think that's something, even myself included, it's been hard to like get up and want to play New World, right? I love the game, but it's been like, do I really want to? And it's been fun to actually fight stuff. And I think a lot of you will see that difference. And I want all of you just to at least give it a shot. I want you to come back, play it, feel the combat, feel the movement. I think one of the other things they did was they changed rolling and dodging. You don't have to animation cancel now, but they continuously do the animation cancel thing for you. They dropped what they were going to do by removing the animation cancel ability and then still giving you a stutter. Nothing stutters and it continuously moves and it feels really good, especially light armor. Light armor feels fantastic. And I know I'm just kind of ranting out about a bunch of the random things, but I'm trying to give you everything that I can think of off the top of my head as far as like fluidity goes right now. And I just can't stress this enough. It's actually fun to play. It's not fun like conceptually. It is actually fun. It feels good mechanically, you know, and like I was saying, it is a little rougher on the edges. There are some times where maybe I get a little bounce thing with my rapier or something stutters a little bit, or maybe I'm bouncing around when they've changed this like clipping thing in melee that it's still not there yet, but it's better. And even, there's just a couple of little things that they'll continue to change, but I think they took so much time on this patch that they could really work on the actual gameplay, and it is much, much, much more enjoyable to play a game that feels good when you're fighting and isn't full of, I should have hit them, how did that hit me, and this just feels clunky. And I think that's my biggest reason why people should come back, give it a shot, and feel it out. Right? There's lots of people playing OPR. There's lots of people doing stuff. Just go run around for a little bit and shoot a couple things. Worst case scenario, jump on, then jump off. I just want people to see how much it has changed. That's all. And I know, some people will come at me and say, Lamani, it doesn't feel that great. Right? And, there are a couple stutters. But personally, I think if you have been a New World player and you've continuously played and you feel what it was like today compared to yesterday, you're like, yeah, this is so much more fun. So go give it a shot, hop on, let me know how you feel about it, and let's jump into the next topic. All right, reason 2 why I think it's a good time to come back is Azoth. Okay, a lot of us are like, Azoth's kind of a pain. I'm buying vials, I'm doing things to actually get it. Okay, and personally, when I saw these changes in the patch notes, I didn't think it'd be that much different. I was like, okay, whatever, it'll be kind of nice, whatever. But now that I'm actually playing with it, I am loving it. Okay, I want you all to see this. I'm 630 weight right now. Okay, and I could run with a bunch more. Because it doesn't matter, because if you look, I'm currently in Cutlass. How much does it cost to fast travel to somewhere like Monarchs? 20. What about Ebonscale? 12. Brightwood? 12. And even up in Shattered Mountains, 20. When you are in a main town, you have an exponentially lower cost for Azoth. And it's not just even when you're in town. Go around to any way shrine. Going to any way shrine out in the world. It's barely any. You will never see an Azoth cost over 100 ever again. Honestly. And it is beautiful. I can carry sets of gear, I can carry materials, consumables, literally everything, and fast travel everywhere. What does it cost for me to reset my house cooldown? 19, and I just used it. And then what else did they do? They made our in resets 30 minutes. So I know it didn't seem like in the patch notes that it's like, oh, this is going to be a make or break. But I will say it feels so much better going around the world with as much weight as I want, doing whatever I want, farming whatever I want, and even running around with all the gear, right? So many people throw so many sets of gear in their storage. Well, now you can run around with all that gear and never have Azoth issues again. And I think it is beautiful, it is life-changing, and I think a lot of people aren't going to realize how much more enjoyable it makes the game and how much easier it is to do the things you want to do when you don't have to worry about Azoth ever. And I think for me, that is a huge point of improvement. So I'd love to hear what all of you are feeling about that right now. All right, next one for me is a big one, and I think it's a big one for people coming back, is OPR. What's all gone down with OPR? They've done a lot of changes as far as balancing, like brutes and other mobs, and the leaderboard changes. And again, the fluidity makes OPR way more fun, but then they've also had the gear and the Umbral Shards. So let's just start off with our rewards from running an OPR. If I win one, I get 100 Umbrals, I get a box, I get over 1,000 faction tokens, I get my Azoth, I get my gold. And now if I lose, I get 50 Umbral Shards. And that's pretty much the major difference. You get a little bit less gold, a little bit less faction token. But now the boxes that we're opening up, the gear that is in them, you have 2 pieces of armor, 1 weapon, and then you have like a 15% chance for a piece of jewelry, okay? And now the chance to get an expertise bump from these is exponentially higher. But the best part is all of these caches, they've removed the loot table of, dropping Beast Ward gear or Ancient Ward gear or just garbage gear that isn't going to do anything for you. So these pieces are actually usable. So not only are we getting more expertise, the pieces are viable. And I think that is incredible. Now then we just keep going on. I think it's amazing that they put Umbral Shards in there because, upgrading gear early on when you just hit 600, it's kind of a pain to run a bunch of mutators over and over and over again, waste those keys. Now we can run OPR, get pretty beefy, and then hit our mutators and then start pushing the key up. I think that's a great change. Now, what else gameplay-wise with OPR? I love the nerfs to brutes. Personally, I hated brutes. I thought they were horrible for the gameplay. I know a lot of people will speak differently about it, but I think the leaderboard is the biggest one, actually. So not only now do we have a reason to actually play OPR, we get gear, Azoth, Umbrals, faction tokens, expertise, actual gear chance, that kind of stuff. Umbrals, again, but the leaderboard inside is now, if you're a higher damage dealer, I've seen damage dealers at number 1 now. You know, the damage you deal, it's just like healing now. The damage you deal helps you rise on the leaderboard, and then kills help too. So it's not just healers ruling the world. It's everybody. Anybody has a fair chance at being number one on the list. And I think that makes it way more competitive, way more fun for people when you can actually have that shot at, you know, hitting number one, getting the cloud on your server, and showing that you're a solid player. And I think gameplay wise, the scoring change, they nerfed Baron a little bit by making it 30 seconds less, which I think is actually pretty big, and it's made it feel better. But OPR is actually fun. It's actually fun and feels good, right? So they have all these fluidity things that I was talking about at the start of the combat just feels so good in PvP. It's really weird. Sure, there's some server lag here and there. Once in a while, you get in a bad one. But the fluidity makes it fun. The scoreboard makes it more competitive and people actually want to play. It's not just people sitting there AFK and being annoying. And then there's rewards that motivate people to actually try and win. So that 100 Umbral Shards versus 50 is actually, I think, a pretty big difference. And I think it promotes more coordination, people actually doing things, and just another way to grind out Umbral Shards instead of grinding mutators. And again, I think the leaderboard just helps it. So in general, if you haven't yet, jump into the game, go play an OPR, feel the combat, feel the new OPR scoring, feel everything, and then watch yourself get some cool rewards at the end. It's a blast. Honestly, go play some OPR. I think it has made it fun for me again, and it's been something that I think, even though we didn't get a lot of content with the patch, it kind of flips it in a way that, you know, OPR is nice and juicy again, and it's fun to play. So keep it going. And my last point, and this isn't going to take me too long, but Umbral Shards is the reason why. I think a lot of people just felt like, you know, they hit 600 gear and now they aren't getting any Umbrals. Or, you know, they're still grinding expertise and then they hit that point and then they're getting no Umbrals. But if you are a player who is almost to 600 or is 600 and the mutated dungeon system and not being able to upgrade your gear and being kind of gear score locked caused you to quit, well, now with the changes to casts, baseline on any piece of gear that you make a cast for with your gypsum, you now get at least 100 Umbral Shards at 600 gear score. I logged in, I didn't really stack that many casts. I had a couple life staff, couple void gauntlets, some chests, some leg ones, okay? I'd probably say 10 to 12 casts, somewhere in there. Maybe my number's rough. Let me think. Maybe more like 15. I don't know. But regardless, when I was done, I had 7,100 Umbral Shards just from opening up a couple casts, which allowed me to up my gear a ton. I'm sitting at about like 620 right now, okay? It's crazy how much access you have to Umbral Shards by not doing mutators now. Your daily gypsum gains are big, right? So it's, you know, not everybody loves doing the gypsum. I did it today on stream. It took me like 25 minutes to get my I did my emerald one quick, but my diamond, my topaz, my obsidian. I mean, just doing those three, that can net you like, it just baseline 300 Umbral Shards. And that's a lot of upgrades you can do. Now, if you're even higher, that's 1,000. Over 1,000, and you can dump that into a new set. I think it promotes more gameplay of, you know, switching it up because we have more access to Umbral Shards, meaning I can go dump it into an alt set or, you know, my tanking set, my DPS set, or a different healing set for things I want to try. So you're not as far behind when you're trying to build these other sets. There's just more ways to do it. It promotes actually doing your daily gypsum grinds. And I think it's just really great for promoting playing different play styles. So I think Umbral Shards, huge boost in my opinion. And I think it's another reason why, if you love the game, but you hated the gear score grind up to 625, it's for you. And I absolutely love it. Now, I've said all this stuff. What are my real thoughts on the patch? Should you come back and give it a shot? Yes. Undeniably, yes. Even if you just want to jump in, give it a feel, and be like, all right, I'm going to give it some more time, see how it goes. I think, like I was saying, cautious optimism is the key. Right? We're seeing all of these changes and we're all month like, why is this taking so long? Why is this taking so long? I'm glad they took this long because I was sitting here talking to Dan later and I was like, you know what? I actually want to play New World off stream. I actually want to play the game. It feels good and I had fun playing it. I actually want to grind again. And it gave me that little bit of a boost to be like, this is the taste of what is to come. It feels better. It's a ton of fun. And now when they're starting to add more content, I can only be more excited. And so for that, I say, give it a shot. Give it a shot and just feel what it was like pre-patch versus post-patch. And let me know how you feel about those differences, because I can almost guarantee you that you'll be excited. You'll have some fun. And now, is it enough to really maintain the player base and keep everybody there in just a February patch that focused on bugs and balancing and things like that? No. But is it a right step for the future of New World as far as improving the game and as content comes out that we actually have a really solid game to play for years and years and years? Yes. So people, please give it a shot. Let me know how it feels. Just, play a little bit here and there every day. I think the biggest thing you can do with New World is never just keep grinding it over and over and over again. Play other games. Right? Work on your shooter skills. I was talking on stream. Flick reaction time, like on games like Valorant, actually kind of help me heal when I'm in PvP. Dabble in Lost Ark. Dabble in other MMORPGs. Play some games with your friends. New World does not have to be your only game, but I think give it another shot if you've quit. Keep playing it if you're still playing it. And I think if you're one of those grinders who's in for the long haul like me, you're very excited for the future. As always, everybody, thank you for everything. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for the support you continuously give me every single day. Bits, subs, follows, everything. I wouldn't be in this position if it weren't for all of you. So keep doing that weird YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, follow the Discord, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, all that stuff. I need to be more active on those. I'm getting married. I have school. I have a job. I'm making content. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. So I'm a little bit busy. But if you want to also support me directly, feel free to hit up my Patreon. If it's another line of support, I give extra content early. It's just a nice little thing, and so it keeps me in touch with all of you. So thank you, Jacob, Thugia, Shane, Gill, Ajuro, Joseph, Generic Guy, Ralph, Bob, Florian, Blue Beagle, GDB, Jay Kitchens, Dexter, Rich, Josh, Michelle, Nade, Rich, Somanex, and 247 Managed Network Solutions. Thank you all for your support, but thank you to every single one of you just for watching this video. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and thank you, every single one of you beautiful people in this current wasteland of Eden, for being you. Bye-bye.